You lose status the moment you over-explain. You are in a meeting and someone challenges a simple decision you made. You start giving extra context, more detail, more reasons. The observable behavior is that your explanations expand after resistance appears. The effect is that you signal the decision is negotiable and your authority is conditional. In practice, this means every extra reason becomes a handle they can grab and pull apart. You can recognize this being used on you when someone keeps saying they just want clarity, then interrupts each reason with a smaller objection. Stop feeding handles. A client says they are unsure, and you immediately talk faster to remove their doubt. You add examples, soften the tone, and try to make it feel safe. The observable behavior is that you rush to close emotional discomfort with more words. The effect is that you teach them your confidence depends on their approval. This shows up when the other person stays vague while you keep working to earn a yes. You can recognize it when someone gives you a slow frown, a pause, and a soft, "I'm just thinking," then watches you scramble to fill the silence. Silence is a test. You make a boundary clear and someone asks, politely, why it has to be that way. You start explaining your reasoning so you look fair. The observable behavior is that you justify boundaries instead of stating them. The effect is that your boundary turns into a debate topic and the other person becomes the judge of whether your reason is good enough. This is done by framing your limit as something that needs permission to exist. You can recognize it when they nod at your reasons, but keep asking for one more explanation, as if the right answer will unlock an exception. Reasons invite appeals. A colleague challenges your plan and you respond with a long, careful walkthrough. You try to prove competence by showing your thinking. The observable behavior is that you reveal your full decision process under pressure. The effect is that they gain leverage because they now know where you hesitate, what you fear, and what you value most. This shows up when the other person stops arguing the outcome and starts attacking the steps you used to get there. You can recognize it when someone repeats your own words back to you, slightly twisted, to make you defend yourself inside your own logic. Don't donate your blueprint. You are negotiating and the other side keeps saying they respect you, then asks for a quick explanation of your position. You answer as if the request is neutral. The observable behavior is that you treat explanation requests as information needs instead of control moves. The effect is that they keep you reactive while they stay undefined, which makes you feel off balance. In practice, this means the person asking stays vague on purpose, so your clarity becomes their advantage. You can recognize it when they never clearly state their own constraints, yet they demand clarity from you repeatedly, like an audit. Clarity should be traded. You give an answer and someone responds with a skeptical look, then waits. You start adding extra detail to relieve the tension. The observable behavior is that you interpret their pause as a problem you must fix. The effect is that you let their facial expression control your output, which quietly flips the status roles. This shows up when they use silence as pressure, and you respond with explanation as submission. You can recognize it when the same person often needs a moment, and your words get longer every time they go quiet. Hold your line. You say no to a request, and the person smiles and asks what it would take to make it a yes. You start negotiating against yourself. The observable behavior is that you offer concessions before the other person pays any cost. The effect is that you signal you can be moved with persistence, not with value. This is done by making you feel like you must appear reasonable, so you volunteer compromises to avoid looking rigid. You can recognize it when they act friendly while repeatedly pushing the same point, waiting for you to weaken your own position. No is a full message. In a disagreement, you explain your intent so they will stop misreading you. You want to be seen as fair and rational. The observable behavior is that you defend your character when the conflict is about outcomes. The effect is that you shift the conversation onto your innocence, which is a weaker position because it is hard to prove and easy to doubt. This shows up when someone labels your move as selfish or disrespectful, and you respond by describing what you meant. You can recognize it when they ignore your intent explanation and return to the accusation, because the goal is to keep you apologizing in circles. Stay on outcomes only. Someone asks why your decision is final, and you answer with a calm, brief statement. They push again, and you repeat it with the same tone and the same length. The observable behavior is that confident people keep their answers stable under pressure. The effect is that the other person stops seeing an opening and starts adapting to reality instead of arguing with it. In practice, this means you remove the reward of extra information, so persistence stops working. You can recognize it when someone tries to trigger you into over-explaining with small insults, sarcasm, or fake confusion, and you do not expand. Consistency ends the game. You make a decision and the room waits for you to defend it. You do not. The observable behavior is that you allow discomfort to exist without rescuing anyone from it. The effect is that people project competence onto you because they cannot locate a weakness to press. This shows up when the loudest person runs out of questions and starts talking about tone or approach instead of substance. You can recognize it when they suddenly change topics, because the real aim was to pull you into justification and you refused. And then they realize you will not